Hello everybody, and welcome to another watercolor tutorial. We are moving along with April's theme of quick tutorials, although all of them ended up being at least 20 minutes long, so I guess they're not that quick. But this is going to be another abstract or want to be abstract painting inspired by cherryngart. So I have my piece of paper in landscape position with the borders taped, and I'm going to take some watered down yellow, sorry, not watered down, just yellow, and I'm gonna apply it. Hold on, actually I haven't really been thinking. In all of April's tutorials so far, I just kind of started painting without thinking about what I'm doing. And then I end up kind of messing things up because I just jump right into it instead of seeing what the best way to tackle something is. But yeah, I am just gonna keep moving along with this, which is covering this with yellow, and then about halfway I'm starting to introduce a little bit of orange into it, like an orangey yellow. And then I want to turn it kind of a golden color. So I'm going to take a sandy color, and that sandy color should mix with the orange really well and kind of make a wannabe brown, but actually I am going to add just a tad bit of brown in there. And you can see I'm kind of tapering it off because this part is going to be black or green. So it looks something like that. And mix that in there. Perfect. Okay, now I don't like how light this green is, so I am gonna pop a little bit of black in the corner just to darken it, like so. I like, see, usually in my paintings I don't like when the cotton paper absorbs it in a way that it makes the watercolor look stringy like this. Kind of like sourdough starter. But in this case it's working for us because it kind of looks like grass, and I was gonna paint grass anyway. I still am, but at least we've got like a background of it going, if that makes any sense. Now the other thing I forgot to do, I wanted to have a big sun here and I kind of messed that up. So let me just try and pick some of this up since it's still wet. And you can also take paper towel and just dab it off. That will work as well, which I'm going to do. There we go. That works for me. And while it's still wet, we do want to do this while it's still wet. You're going to take brown mixed with black, like a dark brown, essentially, and apply it kind of a little, about halfway up, I would say, and a little, yeah, sorry. I don't know what I'm saying. Except I am going to just switch to a thinner brush to apply this. And remember guys, let go of control. Let go of control. This is supposed to be abstract. I am half telling myself this, because I have this tendency to want to perfect every single detail, but this is abstract. So I'm kind of just making little lines and shapes coming off of this because why? Oh, because I want to make it look like trees growing in the distance or something of that nature. I don't know why this looks so strange though, like the way that the color has set. I'm running out of time because my child is hungry. It's part of why I'm trying to do like a speed abstract tutorial. Oh, I made, guys, so I've been on a sourdough kick lately. I've been trying to make sourdough work for years, obviously not consistently, but I've made many attempts over the years and I could never make my own starter. For some reason, it just never worked out. It wouldn't grow, it would mold, like there were just so many issues with it. And I finally figured it out and I've just been making sourdough bread after sourdough bread, like just constant. Every day a new loaf. And I just freeze, like I slice and freeze. I even bought a specific bread bow knife. Like I'm just living my best life over here. And what's my point? Oh, right, I made cookies. I used some of my sourdough to make sourdough cookies, and I just tasted one straight out of the oven. It is like the softest, chewiest cookie that I've ever made, I think. And I bake a lot. So who knew? Who knew? So you can keep adding like shading, like I'm going in with some black and just adding some black, obviously, to give the illusion of shadows and texture and whatever else. Although I realize I should have made this a lot lighter because it's like right near the sun, but I mean, what are you gonna do, guys? I can't think of everything. I should have thought of that though. That would have been a really obvious one, but we can't do anything about it now. So what am I gonna do now? I want to paint a fence, but before I paint this fence, I need to make this a little darker. These corners here. I need to darken them up. Whoops. So I'm just taking my liner brush here and just flicking out some grassy strands, as I mentioned earlier that we were going to do. Okay, so what I like doing, and I sometimes forget to do it, but when I'm painting abstract paintings, I like running my paintbrush like just like this, back and forth, and because it is like an abstract technique, and it sort of creates this effortless foliage or effortless grass. So I recommend that you try it. But you have to be very light with your brush strokes, if you know what I mean. Like the bristles barely touching the paper in order for it to not look clunky. So I don't know how I feel about this. Okay, we're gonna let this dry and then we're gonna move on to the next step. Okay, so this should mostly be dry. I hope it is. We're gonna add a fence now, and in my very subjective opinion, I believe that when you have one specific feature in your abstract painting, that feature is what makes the whole painting come together. Like, just have one detailed thing, and usually it's a fence for me in many of the paintings that I've painted, abstract paintings I mean. So I've taken brown. It's a little dark for my liking, but it is what it is. And we're just gonna paint a basic fence here. I should have painted it before the grass shoot. Because now it's kind of in my way. So I'm trying to keep them the same height at the top. They just shrink from the bottom, and that's what helps you maintain like a pretty good perspective. And even though, you know, this fence is supposed to be like your one detailed object, you still want to make it fairly loose. And I wanted to have like a really solid one here. Oops. I'll just make this one higher. But this grass is in my way. I'll just do that. Okay. And then we have to connect. So I'm connecting them with 3 posts, and I kind of left gaps here to make it look like the grass is in the foreground over top of the fence. So that's kind of a workaround, I would say. I did the same here. And then we don't really have to worry about that for most of the rest of them. Okay, I kind of like that, kind of. I'm gonna take black, and I just want to make the kind of left back area a little bit darker because the sun is supposed to be on the other side. So it seems appropriate to do so. And I also kind of want to add a shadow, but I don't want it to be a very dark one. So, like, again, because this is abstract, don't worry about making it hyper detailed, whatever. Well, I think that's nice how it is there. So the next thing I'm gonna do is add a few more foreground details to kind of make this grassy clump actually look like it's in the foreground. So I'm gonna take some greens. And I'm gonna take a little bit of white shortly because I really like this paint. It allows me to paint white over darker colors. That's how opaque it is. It's by Grabby, and I've included the link in the description. I've been basically using this for most of basically all of my videos for the last few months, ever since I tried it out. And okay, so now I'm gonna grab, actually first I'll do like a lime green because that's almost white. Like, isn't that neat that I can paint lime green over these darker features? That is pretty awesome if you ask me. And I'm gonna grab the white finally, oops. And the white is more of like adding some accents in there. Or sorry, not accents, highlights, accents, I guess it's kind of the same thing. Mind you, I do want to add, like, I'm gonna take maybe orange or like a yellowish orange here. Just gonna see if I can paint something nifty here. Didn't really turn out how I wanted it to. I'm gonna stop before I ruin it because I don't really like these random things that I'm adding right now. So I'm kind of tempted to just leave this as it is. Maybe I'll take a little bit of black and just add like very fine details that separate the grass, or are kind of separated from the grass, like that. Oh, I like that actually. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that because, sorry, no, one more thing, sorry. I'm gonna take a bit of like orange, I think. And I just wanna see if I flick it on, kind of focusing it on where I do those black twig things. It kind of makes it look like they're like autumn berries or something growing on a twig. So I quite like that actually. So I'm gonna stop there. Woo, finally I tore that off in one go. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next tutorial.